Welcome to the Yeshiva Daf Shir sponsor Lunish Pasam Yaakov Shalom Le'Abasitzchok. We're holding in Metzia Daf to the base. We're starting the Mishnah on Mudalef on top. Says the Mishnah: Oichel poyel kishus afilu bedina, koiseves ve'afilu bedina. So a person is allowed to eat a kishus. What's a kishus? A kishus is a gourd, cucumber gourd, even if it's worth a dinar. Meaning, even if it's worth much more than what the amount of money he's getting for this. Krisevis, a piece of date or a fig, dinner, even though it's a dinner, meaning even though it's very expensive. Those says, no. You're not going to get more. You're not eating more than what your value of your work is. You could do it, but we want to give you a Musar Haskel. What's the Musar Haskel? Don't be a fresser. You know what's going to happen if you can eat? You're allowed to eat. But if you can eat, you know what's going to happen? Nobody's going to hire. So just be smart. Don't eat too much. They both say the same thing. You're allowed to do it. Says the it says it says we teach him, don't do it. I don't teach you anything. I'm not going to tell him to stop. He deserves to be there right. So Rabbanon Yisrael Milam. According to Rabbanon, you do have Milam. He basically kebenayu davasi. To Ravasi, if you lose chora live to yesh kol echod or yichloi. According to Ravasi says, even if you just hired to do one eshkol, that's all you want to do. He can eat it. That right? Right. So how Rashi explains it. Look at Loshe Rashi. You can't eat that one. He's hired to take out one cucumber. He eats that cucumber. That's what it is. So Allah argues as Rashi. It's only one individual you can't eat. That's what Rashi learns. Says the Gemara, another thing Ravasi said, what's the second thing of Ravasi? He's hired for the entire day. He starts working, right away he eats. I say, 1 second. You can eat, but start working. You have 6 hours of work. You're eating right away in the first minute? So Ravasi, you could. You need both points of Ravasi. So the first one, because you can't put it into the Kel Ba'abais. Meaning, you have nothing to put in the first case. I have only one gourd, right? I have only one cubit to eat. So therefore, what? So if I have only one, there's nothing to put by the Ba'abais. So I'll tell you, there you're not going to put into the Ba'abais his vessels anyway. So therefore, I'd say just eat it. But in the second case, he's going to be working the whole day. First, give the Baal Bayis what he deserves, and then you take. By the second case, I'll say, okay, you eat right now because I know you're going to be working still the whole day. There's never given anything to Baal Bayis, you can't eat. That's why I need both cases or Ravasi. Hereby say, another answer. So again, we're going back to the Mishnah. We have a Machlekes Rabbanon and Tanakam. What's the machlekes? Says the Gemara, by saying another answer, give it out the Rav. Tomer Rav said Megillah Storim beer of Chio. What's a Megillah Storim? We spoke about it once in the past. Megillah Storim is that you're not allowed to write Torah Shabbat Peh. And they used to have these booklets. It would be a hidden booklet for people that wanted to remember the Torah Shabbat Peh, but they didn't want to write it. They put it and they would hide it. So that's what happened over here. So so he came out the Rav. Tomer Rav said Megillah Storim beer of Chio v'kasu bei. Isi ben Yehuda Oimer ki savoy bekerem re'echo bevias kol odom v'kosu medaber. Right? What does mean bevias kol odom v'kosu medaber? It's interesting. Unfortunately, we don't explain it so much, but the Yerushalmi will find it. Meaning, any person could go in to the vineyard of his friend to start harvesting it and eat from it. So, what do you mean? Everybody's going to come into anybody's vineyard, so the owner's going to lose. Meaning, what I'm talking about is someone who is going to be doing it for his meal. the meal that he owes to get, right? In other words, whatever he's supposed to eat, he's going to work. And the owner usually for the worker needs to feed him. He can eat instead of having the meal. So we're not talking about the person's not going to lose anything because instead of hiring workers and feeding them, that guy will do it on his own. A person prefers to hire workers that they should work in his orchard. He doesn't want other people to come in. Oh, I'm going to work for you today. You know, people don't like that. So right? So that's the point. So Rav did not like that, right? So he made a what? The machlekes of Rabbanan and Tanakam over here is the machlekes is regarding can you have somebody else do it if he's not a worker, right? Rashi says Tanakam said the isi da oichel poilektani. Rabbanan basroi isu the isi. They agree with isi. Right? Meaning they all that anybody can work. Even if he's not a socher. So the question is, can other people not hired workers, can they go and be there at night? Says the Gemara like this. This is a conceptual idea. How do I treat a poyel who's eating? When he's eating, the Torah says a poyel who is working in the field, he has the right to eat. Is it his? Or Hashem is giving it to him? Ma'ayav Kivino. He says, give it to my wife and kids. If it's his, right now he owns it. The Torah says this is yours. You can give it to anybody you want. If you tell me no, it's not his. Because Baruch gave him a right. So you give it a right to him, but not his kids. It's not his. So you give a right to him to eat. So what is the case? Toshua says, person, like we said in our Mishnah, eat a cucumber, a gourd, even if it's worth a lot, because it's b'dinar. Well, if it's his, does that make sense? He hired him for danko, there's a 6, and he's going to pay him with a zuz. In other words, he's going to pay him more than when he's worth the work. It doesn't make sense. If it's b'shaloi, that means you're giving him a fair compensation. It's not fair compensation, you're giving much more. You want to tell me Shamayim? Do the same question. Let's say Shamayim. So Baruch Hu gave him something that he's going to have to pay him more than he's worth of work. Elamayim say yes, the Torah gave him the right to eat. He also, the Torah gave him the right. Meaning that's not a right. This is the right the Torah said. Says the Gemara Toshma, says a person should not eat more. Learn in our Mishnah, you're allowed to eat more. What's the machlekes? Of course, there's a machlekes. So therefore, you don't eat more. And therefore, you can eat more. So regarding what it says in the pasuk that he's going to go into the field, meaning why is he allowed to eat so much? Because he's doing serious nefesh, he's working hard, he's going on the tree, he may fall. For that he has a right to eat, even if it's more than his eye. A different drush that we saw earlier, that you don't have a lav when you muzzle, when you close up the poil. Only by animal you have a lav. That's the drush. The Shayan Kedavshcha tells you a reason why he deserves the compensation, or the Kedavshcha tells you that he used to treat like you. He says, give me the Nazir. He's a Nazir, he's not allowed to drink. He says, give it to my wife and kids. Ain't Shamiloi. If it's his, and my Shamiloi is his, he give it to his wife and kids. That's the rule we say about Nazir. Don't get close to the vineyard. It's a punishment, it's a knas. Why are you dealing with grapes? You're not supposed to eat grapes. Why are you putting yourself in that challenge where you have an Isayan to eat grapes? You're not giving to your wife and kids either. Touch about another rhyme. Regular workers say, give my wife and kids, you don't listen. That's we just, that's what we said before in Afkabina. If it's his, he can give it to his wife and kids. My poil nazir. Poil means a nazir. Tanya knows Tanya poil. One second, you have two braces. One says nazir, one says poil. One says the poil is not a nazir. It's not mentioned together. It's two different braces. So what is Nazir? The other one says Poil, but it's really talking about a Nazir. Tashma, another right. Says, get to my kids, you don't give it, you don't listen to him. Don't put in his kalim. So in other words, you don't put in your kalim, you don't give it to, you can't take it to your own vessels. So you can't give it to the wife of kids. If it's because of Nazir, is that the reason why you can't put it into your vessels? The reason is because I'm telling the Nazir, don't get close to the vineyard. You're right. You're right. Really, the source is really a Nazir. And it's because of Lech Lech. Why are you bringing a different pasuk? Because I'm saying poyel, use the word poyel, so I give the pasuk poyel, but it's not the ikar reason. And many times we find we don't use the ikar reason. Tosh, why I have another ayah. Has a worker to dry the figs. Says the one that's based on base. He eats his potter b'namaiser. Why? Because it's meant to be dry. So it's not finished. Chiyuv ma'aser is only once you finish the malach. But if he says, I'm going to eat, my son's going to eat. Or my son will eat on my behalf. He can eat his potter because he's the worker and it's not finished. It's part of the work. But and Rashi adds more than that. He's oichel potter because it's like a chichol peyo. The Torah gave it to him potter b'namaiser. But his son is not part of it, right? And he's considered to be able to be a buyer, and a buyer is chaven meiser. But if it's his, he can give it to his son. Why can't he give it to his son? So you're right. Really, he could give it to his son, but it doesn't look right. It looks like he sold it. So therefore, I said to the son, he has to do a meiser. Yes, so he's chaven meiser. So another raya toshma seiches apoyel asas b'neta revayshlo. He tells him to work in Eter Revai. What's Eter Revai? The 4th year of the fruit, where you need to redeem it. Right? You need to, it has kedusha. You don't let him to eat, because it's Eter Revai, it has kedusha, so you don't let him to eat. If you didn't tell him, you have to redeem it. In other words, when you hired him, you told him you have to work. They thought they have to be able to eat. So he has to redeem it. If it's not compensation, if it's not mishalo, that's what he deserves. The Torah just gave him something to eat. The Torah did not give him here to eat. It's not a compensation. I don't have to fulfill it if it was a mistake. So the more also mishul the milsik mekertos. You're right. Mikar din you don't have to give him, but it doesn't look right. It looks like the guy made up with somebody to work. He thinks he has food. He doesn't have food. So the more bring another look at the end of that brayso. Nisparsu a gulov niftechu chaviyosov. So the guli means you have dates that are connected together, they're stuck together in the shape of a circle. Or his barrels opened up. He's not allowed to eat from that iguli, and he's not allowed to eat anymore. Why? Because that's dusha. Right? Says right, sorry. And not in the case of Ravai, but it's already chayv b'maiser, because once you finish, it's already wine, or it's already fig. It's already stuck together, so you can't eat. If you and if you didn't tell him in advance, meiser has to meiser umachil, and he feeds him. The question: if it's not really doesn't deserve that compensation, why is meiser machilon? The Torah didn't ever give him meiser. The Torah gave him it's not meiser. Right? Again, if it's mishalo yoichel, it's compensation. I have to make sure you get it. But if it's because of meiser, if it's because of the Torah gave you, the Torah did not give you this. And most maybe tell me over here as well, because it looks like it looks wrong. I understand where the igulim, crumbled. I mean, there was a circle of dates, and now they're disconnected. He doesn't know that it was finished. What do you mean by why he didn't know? Maybe the other did bulu meiser. Once it's wine, it's finished. It's chayav meiser. The barrel broke and the wine spilled back into the bar, into the winery. So he looks at it. He thinks, "Oh, it's not finished." Says the Gemara, right? Once again, but we learn that once wine comes to the pit of the winery, it's Chav Meiser. So once again, we bring a raya. If it's Chav Meiser, so everybody knows I'm not going to eat from it. So why you have to compensate them for that? It's not enough that it goes into the bar. You still have to do kipui, which means you have to take away the chartzon, you have to take away the sediments, and only when you clean it. Once it goes to the bar, it's not enough. So he sees the wine in the bar, he doesn't know it's Chav Meiser. We didn't know that you already took out the sediments. You should think that maybe the wine is already clean. Maybe, I'll tell you why. You should think that maybe it was cleaned up. So the one who puts the wine, the one who pours the wine, he's the one who cleans up the sediments. And the one who takes out the wine. So they didn't think it's clean. Because usually when it's in the pit, it's not clean. Now we saw a Bryce that says that once it goes, we said before, it goes into the pit and it's cleaned up, then it's Chav and Meiser. Kiva said, no, only when you put it into barrels. Even if the wine did not go into the pit, we didn't know that he did that. Sorry, mashta is not only mashta means that he allowed the wine in the barrels to boil and to calm down from the boiling. Right? The boiling stopped. So I didn't know the boiling stopped. Maybe he said you should tell them, you should think about it. Maybe already the boil stopped. It's in the place where whoever closes the barrel, he's the one who makes sure that the boiling stops. The barrels are not closed. They gave us open barrels. So they assumed it wasn't boiled. It wasn't boiled. It wasn't finished. It wasn't finished. That's why they assumed this thing is it's not finished. It's not Chav. So they assumed he'll still be able to eat from it. And then when they found the mistake, he has to pay them. Okay, we'll do a break and come back.
I'll join you later.
So 2 more minutes. 2 more minutes. Let's go to a few more lines. Tashma says the Gemara. What's Koitzitz Adam? A person can go and say, I'm not going to take the food, right? I'm not going to take food, but I'm going to take money instead. Don't feed me. I'll take money instead. So Koitzitz Adam can do it for himself. For his older kids and for his older slave and maids. You could say, you know what? Don't feed them, give them money instead. In other words, the kids probably agreed. You can't do it if the kids are young and they're working. You can't say, instead of feeding them, pay them. Because maybe the kids don't agree. There's no way we have to have mechila. Also the animal, you can't do it. Because you can't tell the animal not to eat. So I thought we're talking about a case that he's feeding them. That he's eating, meaning that whatever Akash gave them, I can't say don't feed them. The Torah says you have to feed them. Meaning it's compensation. He's feeding them. So he's taking care of the food. So whatever compensation he owns it. So he's not feeding them. The Torah is not feeding them. So also the adults. The Gedolim say, okay, but we're willing to give it up. He can do it for himself, for his wife. Can't do it for his animal. Can't do it for his older kids. With the older kids he could do. And here to say that the slaves can do even small, young ones. We'll talk about these feeding them. What's the machlok between the brises? That's a question. Do I have to feed them? Do I have to be forced to feed them? Or it's a compensation? So everybody agrees with shelo yoichel. Machlok between the Mishnah and the Brisa, can you feed by avodim? Can you feed them or not? Depends on do you give them other food or not. If you give them other food, so then so then you can take away the money. But if you're not giving all the food, you can't. Says the Gemara, keep to you feed them. So why can I do it with the Ktanim? Says the Gemara, the Torah did not give a person the right to cause his kids to have tsar. Right? So even though he's malam zoynis, the boy says, okay, so take the food. Now they're going to eat, they're going to see the food, they're going to have saliva coming out. They're not moichel. The Torah did not say you can do that. Okay, we'll stop over here. Really, the Iksugi goes into the Mishnah, but we'll start from here tomorrow.